Yeah. Thank you. I didn't have to give you.
Heather?
I'm Heather Vandermark.
She lives in Greenpoint. She's got a voice. She can say whatever she
I
wants.
work for GWAP. I run the GWAP website. I've been doing that for the past year. I don't have a personal, I mean, I like parks and open space and clean air. I guess my big thing with the website is just providing information to the public. It just seems like people are pretty confused on like the process, like the ULERP and the Greenpoint landing and all of that. So my goal with the website was just to kind of provide as much information as possible.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. And I don't know, I guess as a resident, in my opinion, like I don't care if you've been here 6 months, 100 years, it's cool. But I guess if you live here, like you have a voice, and the GWAP website serves to give you a space for that voice. I mean, truly,
But the comments are, what's the word, curated? I mean, why can't we freely post a comment on the site?
Oh, it's mostly just because of spam. I mean, to be honest, because I'm the one who filters them, and I
Right.
think I approve nearly everything.
Okay. Just asking. I mean, because a lot of sites don't do that.
No,
Maybe
any
you should
questions, because there are still people that haven't spoken, and let's just go then.
Yeah, let's get through that because we're.
We have 3 people, you
Lisa?
Lisa,
The 3 people that came. The 3 people that came in. Essentially, our purpose was say who you are, and what would be your pet issue about open space, or what you think WAP would represent as an activist organization, whatever. So just tell us who you are and what you like, what you hate, how you like to see the neighborhood evolve.
My name is Tanya Blake, and I should thank Heather for posting the update on the Domino development. I live right across the street from that, and I moved to the neighborhood, so that is South Williamsburg in 2007, and a lot has changed since then. And in terms of open space, my concern in a sense is that with the new development, in particular for Domino and potentially also for Greenpoint Landing and Commercial Street, the per capita open space might go down with the number of new residents that move to the neighborhood. And I think that's a real problem because in particular on the south side of Williamsburg, it's already one of the lowest per capita open space in the entire city. I'm also a member of the Southside Community Garden, and this is one of the very few open spaces that there are on the south side. And it's really great that they are going to the new waterfront parks, but it's just not enough for given the new density that's coming to this area. I should also probably say, in terms of transparency, I'm on the steering committee of North Brooklyn Boat Club. That's me.
Great.
Hi, I'm John Terrell. I'm a member of DOG, which is the Alliance, Dog Owners Alliance within Greenpoint. And we've been trying to get a dog run in North Greenpoint for a long time, well, for over a year. I've been in the neighborhood since 1978, so I've seen it go through a lot of changes. I came here for the cheap rent way back when, and now it's getting more and more expensive for me to stay here. I haven't always been directly, I've always had my apartment. I haven't always been in the apartment. I was living upstate for a little while, but I've always kept the presence in the neighborhood, and I've always been here at some times, and I've just watched things going through a lot of development. And I'm back full-time for the last 2 or 3 years. I got involved with the dog organization, my wife and I, who couldn't be here tonight, a previous commitment. We got involved because of Transmitter Park and the controversy that was going on with dogs and
Dogs and babies.
Babies, yeah.
Who's going to eat who?
Yeah, exactly. We were in getting involved with dog. I started to realize that there was an infrastructure of community-minded people here that I hadn't realized before, and I'm just looking for ways to get more involved. And that's my story.
Hi there. I'm Nick Rizzo. I'm a politician. Sorry.
I've seen them.
Yeah, right.
We need a politician.
We're not all
Ron.
terrible. I'm trying to show we're not all terrible. I've lived in the neighborhood since 2008. I know about half of you, a little more. Great to meet the other half. I plan on living here for the rest of my life. What?
I hope you bought something.
No, exactly. My next sentence is, I don't live in a rent-stabilized place, and I'm a renter. So it's going to be interesting. But by hook or by crook, I plan on staying here. Every month, I become more convinced that this is the best neighborhood in the city, honestly.
Wow. I like that. That's why I live here.
So yeah, when I moved here, I started finding out about the different community organizations, and obviously open space is a big issue, clearly, which you guys have been organizing around for years. You know, there's still a lot that the city owes us, the city promised us, that hasn't been fulfilled. But at the same time, you know, when I moved here, this wasn't here. And I live on Eagle Street, so I live nowadays I live a block and a half from you guys, actually. I haven't seen you since I moved there. So I live fairly near Transmitter Park. I love Transmitter Park, personally. And I'm just honestly, I'm really excited about the direction the neighborhood's going. Mostly. I'm terrified. I want everyone to be able to stay here still. But by and large, I think we're heading in a good direction. We just got to protect that. And I also, you know, I'm a little bit concerned about just the notion of, I really like and trust everybody in Guap, actually, and but I'm a little concerned about a private board. At the same time, NAG works, you know, and I don't think anybody is arguing that NAG is a huge nefarious plot by developers to. I don't know what people are arguing, but you know, but I suppose there is a model for how this thing can stay open, despite being a private board. It basically, I think that involves the board being really committed to constantly not only listening to the public, and we don't really have mechanisms for what's going to cause that, but also renewing themselves. I would say I really think that the people who are moving into this neighborhood recently are eager to get involved, a lot of them. They're not just transients. And there's a thirst for more civic engagement. And I think we're seeing rising levels of civic engagement, actually, according to some metrics. But I gotta say, so for those of us who came here kind of more recently, like say me or Heidi, some of these old fights that you guys are having, you know, amongst yourselves, I think that's going to be the thing that turns off new engagement. And that's not to say that conflict isn't necessary sometimes, and there are real worthwhile issues that actually have to be hashed out, and they will be hashed out in an open forum. And that's important that everyone stick to, you know, give their ideas, but we all got to try to be civil to each other, you know, I think, and welcoming of everybody new. That's all I got. Thanks.
Nick, what are you running for?
I'm running for district leader, Lincoln's old seat. Lincoln Wrestler, for those of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't mean Chris Alhowski's old seat?
Yeah, right. Well, he's resigned, so yeah.
Another non-paying job, but that's good. A volunteer.
Highly lucrative, yeah.
Vote for Nick Rizzo. Be sure.
I don't think they're allowed to say this. Yeah.
Lisa?
Yes.
So I'm with the Bloodgood. I work for Councilmember Stephen Levin. I am not a politician, but yes, I do work for one. I'm here tonight because I care and my office cares deeply about all of our community organizations. and we want them all to be successful and healthy and cooperative and communicative and, all of that. It's a close-knit community that's been through a lot and is going to continue to, unfortunately, go through some struggles and will continue to grow and change. And we need groups like GWAP, Barge Park Pals, and Park Moms, and every other group that's represented in this room. We need you to be here. We need new people like yourselves. I want to give you my card, and we can talk and try and plug you in. We definitely need to get more volunteers and funnel them into these groups. And this is a reason why I'm here tonight, is to hear some more ideas on how we can do that and just how we can help make everybody more healthy and successful in the community. And that's pretty much it. And I'm always open on behalf of the council member to hear from any of you. And I am constantly sharing my information and telling you to reach out to me on behalf of the councilman. And so I look forward to hearing from all of you, any of you, if you ever have any questions, concerns, or whatever. So that's it.
Ms. Tretsiokis, did you get to speak?
I didn't. Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Tretsiokis. The question was again who I am. So I moved here in 2007 to start a family. I have a young son. I like both passive and active spaces. I just like more of them because we have a serious dearth. And I think, what was the question? What's our pet?
Yeah, what's your pet bitch, or what's your
pet peeve? Actually, is going to be what's going on with American Playground right now, and the water issue that's going to become acutely problematic once we get some warm weather, if it ever happens. I don't think anyone may know this because I feel like it's been escaping a lot of attention, but the plumbing is broken in America and it hasn't been fixed since July. And that means no bathrooms, no spray showers. It's a very heavily used park. Apparently the city, the DOT and the park department are figuring it out because the problem is somewhere underneath the street, and I can see this stretching into a huge problem and us having no spray showers and bathrooms in America come summer 2014. So. Huh?
Sprinklers.
You should really put that on the website. So,
Get that on the website.
that is a very good thing, because people should start talking and calling elected officials.
They still have the stupid little barricades around the
This
tree.
is something that
That's what those barricades were for.
If you get enough of push and enough of people asking and calling, you can get maybe a result. So, most of you know me, right? I'm Christine Howard.
Who are you? Let you in.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's good to see you.
But I have been here, and my career in this community started really with fighting the environment. That was the first thing. I met with a newcomer topic, who many of you know, and she was causing the incinerator, and I was involved with that. And then it just, this community is inundated with everything and anything. So whenever we're meeting, I have been able to go and help. I've participated in 197A plan. I am on the board. I was on the board of GWAP. I am on the board of Newtown Creek Alliance. I work for Newtown Creek Monitoring Committee. I'm on the steering committee of Outreach. So I do a lot of things in the community, and I still hope to do many of them. I'm also on the stakeholders committee for the Kosciuszko Bridge. But this is, I guess, about how do I see GWAP going into the future. And I really see as an organization who's going to transform into someone we were. I think that our website should be still very strong. Hopefully we can get a director on the board who will take care of the funding, because you need money to run that. I also hope that the new board members that we're going to get are going to be more board members who are going to be willing to work. And hopefully each one of them is going to take issue and go with it. Make committees, and work with the committees. I think that that's where we're talking about transparency and being open, that's what's needed. And I'm hoping that we could do that and basically inform the community of what's going on. One of the things that is happening right now, I mean, even though we think that all the environmental issues are sort of left this community, they haven't. We have now the food waste program that's coming into the sewage treatment plant. We don't know what the impacts are going to be. It's a program where they're picking up all the scraps of food now from school. It's a pilot program, right? Bringing it to waste management, when waste management makes a slurry, and then the slurry is being brought up to the Newtown Creek to the digesters. From the digesters, it, of course, as it digests, it produces methane. I'm sure that many of you knew that National Grid is going to build a gas cleaning plant right in front of Greenpoint Avenue. And by the way, that was an area that Laura and I both could tell you was supposed to be open space for our community, yet it's taken by National Grid now to build this cleaning plant.
I didn't know about this either.
Right in front
It wasn't on the website.
plant. That gas is going to go now into the Collier Street main gas pipe, right? And so that's what's happening. There have been already 2 bills that have been basically passed in the council, allowing this to happen. And one of the bills is because we have to do something. The landfills are filled, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things we need to do is to figure out how else we can get rid of this stuff, this organic matter. So anaerobic is one of the ways. But it is always this community that seems to get all these pilot programs, and it's this community that from the pilot programs it turns into a real, a real program where they will. And the other bill that has passed in the council is basically a bill that allows the commercial waste to also maybe in the future be anaerobically, digested. Now, where is it going to go? Newtown Creek is the only plant that has, but we can also accept a lot at this point, a lot of tons of that stuff.
How are they bringing it in, barge or
no, they're bringing it in right. This is a pilot right now, so right now you don't feel anything because it's brought in by a truck. But I'm just giving it to you because this is something that's very new. I work for the Newtown Creek Monitoring Committee, and because I work for the committee, and so does Laura is a member, Laura Huffman is a member of the committee. DP has told us about it because they were building that National Grid plant. And we started to investigate, and that's how we know. And now we are trying to figure out what happens next. And this is something that I am sure that some of us here would want to work on in the future and make sure that the impacts are there. I know that the elected officials are starting to look into it and work on it. I'm hoping that in the future we get some kind of stakeholders committee that would really go out there and do. And this has to be, somebody has to pick that up too. And issues like that will be coming on board very often, and there is going to be many, many more issues. Issues of the open space, such as the parks, whether you want the park to be passive or, I personally like passive parks because I don't have a ton of kids, my kids are grown up, but I'm sure that people who have small kids are looking into different kinds. But those are the things that we have to really struggle with. But at the same time, I'm sure that the community could come around to some kind of a resolution on this, right? You can't overburden a community with one kind of a park and have nothing on the other hand. That is the truth. You also have to look into areas where maybe there are some other spaces where we could open up gardens. Perfect, the garden on 61st, what is it, 61
Franklin.
Right, that's part of,
Right next to
that's
Jersey.
happened because of flood, really. And so we are hoping that there are many other spaces like that. And that's where we are to look at, because park capita, if all of that, those buildings are coming up, there's gonna be very little open space. The reality is we're gonna be on the bottom, as always, so that's the difference. And that's where I would like to go up to be. Somewhere where you have people, really, the board of directors, new blog, really working very hard with community, with groups, with committees, and the website, and the website would be the focal point of it all, where all the information would be on it, as it is right now. One of the elected officials said, if I wanted something, I'm going on a website. And that was like kind of a nice feeling for me, that the website is that good that someone's checking things out. And I would hope that all of you will really make use of this, right? And put things on it so we can just keep it on there, and the community could be really, aware of what's going on. So that's what I think about it.